Redditors without a college degree, what do you do? Zookeeper. 70k year. I cannot believe it. People hell to have a zookeeper job for minimum wage. You usually have to have a bachelor's and 3 years of experience. You have to at least be a manager or a curator or something. I'm an air traffic controller. I did ATC in the military and then went straight to the civilian side when my enlistment was up. With overtime, I'll make around $170,000 this year. $170,000? That's enough to pay for your daughter's rehab. You should buy a duplex. Let her live on one side, and she can manage renting the other side for you. Who knows? She might rent to a nice young man with great future prospects. Prison guard. I don't recommend doing it unless you want to be single until you retire or don't mind going through a divorce and knowing you are about to lose your 2 kids and everything you own to a cheating whore. God damn it. I'm a welder. I ducking love it. But it ain't for everybody. It's hot, dirty, loud, dangerous, and physically, and sometimes mentally, challenging. But even with all that, I wouldn't trade it for an office job. I work a desk job and you just described Jill. Hot, dirty, loud, dangerous, mentally challenged. She makes for a great co-worker. I make $9.19 per hour. WA state minimum wage. And I'm a car wash guy. I will likely never get a job that pays more than minimum wage. Last year, I made slightly over $20,000 a year because of overtime. I am a gunsmith at a local gum shop in my hometown. It's my dream job, so I guess I made it in the world. The money isn't great, but I love what I do and I am good at it. Edit. Thank you guys so much for taking an interest in what I do. This is my top comment point wise. I had a lot of fun answering your questions. D. Nothing wrong with that. I'm a brewer for a popular pub where I live. Brewing was just a hobby that someone told me to take further. Mind if I ask how you started gumsmithing? I'm curious because shooting is a hobby of mine. But I pay more attention to the engineering and craft more than technique, speed, and competition. It. No degree, have college education and enough credits for a bachelor's. But in 2 different majors I never completed. Certifications and soft skills landed me my first job. And I've done nothing but get regular promotions from there on. I make a little over 50k a year before overtime. I get anywhere from 5-30 hours a week in overtime. Depending on projects etc. Healthcare. Dental. Vision. 401k. Travel and other local area discounts. My brother works in it with no degree. He keeps getting promoted. He's now in the low 6 figures. It seems that, especially within the ed community, it's what you know, not necessarily how you learned it. Dropped out of high school to get a job after 10th grade due to my parents dying. I'm a senior tech in help desk making around 55k a year. It's a good gig. Edit. I've been in this position about 12 years and I'm topped out. Also hourly. Employee of the month at Burger King. What do I win? Elevator mechanic. I make about $100,000. I used to make more, but I have small kids now and so I decline most overtime opportunities. Penetration tester. No degree. I hack our clients and get bonuses for doing so. $90,000. I love how people think this job is so fun. Just understand that you do about 3% of your time doing the actual field work. The rest is writing what equates to a book for your client filled with a detailed report, and countless hours are spent in front of a computer screen at your desk. It's not like you just go rob a bank every day and go give the money back and be like lol. Just kidding. But you might wanna lock the safe next time. It's hard work and requires a lot of certifications and clearance to be taken seriously. You might as well have gone to college with all the security certs you probably have had to endure. Topped out Costco employee. $20.30 an hour plus bonuses. Costco here topped out $20.00 per hour when I last worked there. They paid $4 per hour shift pay for any hours Sunday. Any time spent doing a skilled job, for example, cashier rather than pushing carts, driving forklift rather than stocking shelves, took you from the main pay scale to the higher one. At the low end it was an extra $0.50 per hour. At the high end, it was an extra $1.50 per hour. Once you made it a couple steps up the pay scale, they paid out bonuses on a regular basis. They gave you benefits whether you worked full or part-time. You could be a cashier making $21.50 per hour with full benefits, regular, not insubstantial, bonuses, and paid vacation. The job I was doing was ducking miserable because it was boring. The company itself is great to work for. 33 and I continue working on getting that college degree. Better late than never. I'm a landlady. Stay in school. Do you own the properties or do you run the office? Both. Well, I work as an IT specialist for a big Fortune 500 company. I usually spend my days fixing this and fixing that. The work ain't so bad. And the pay is 8. As long as it gets me out of the crib and away from the woman, I'm happy. I'd be making mad scratch if I had a degree, but that shit ain't for me. Bunch of yuppies bust us up in there. Ain't a place for no nigsific, now what I'm saying. Better than busting caps and itches and slinging rock to stay alive though. I am one of only 2 out of my group of friends who finished college and got a good job, but I can tell you what the rest are doing. They are all waiters in restaurants. I met them when I worked at a restaurant myself. So it's not some random coincidence. Serving is good money at a young age. Which is also a trap in a way. You get comfortable and don't see the need to go to college to get a job that will possibly pay you less starting out. The problem is there is no room for growth in that industry. They make, on average, between $20 and $30 an hour serving, depending which friend we are talking about, aka which restaurant. But unless you work 2 serving jobs you will almost never get 40 hours. It's more in the 25-30 range. So yearly they make around 25k 35k. I made about 25k when I was serving because I was also going to school full time. They make enough to live on their own. Barely, but not enough to do much else on top of that in terms of entertainment. They have to be very cautious with money. Granted, we live in a very expensive area, Bay Area, California. From my perspective, it kind of sucks now. Because I have a good job and make great money. And I finally am able to go on spontaneous trips. Snowboard, golf as much as I want. Not worry about spending too much at the clubs, restaurants, etc. And it's a bummer that my friends cannot enjoy that with me. I see them a lot less as a result, as most of the time they just hang out at one of their places and get high, play video games, which I used to partake in on a daily basis. But now there's so much more that I would rather do. TLDR, get a degree unless you have some amazing idea for a business. Otherwise life will be quite a bit tougher. I'm 33. And I work part-time as a waiter. I use the money I earn along with some rental income to build and sell a house every other year or so. I make about 20k a year serving. Around 10k in rental and between 50 and 75k per house. While I typically don't see the earnings for a couple years. It only takes about 6 months to build a house. And I travel a ton and indulge my hobbies the rest of the time. When I was 18 or so, I started working at a pet store as a dog groomer. Did a lot of learning on the job. Working at this store I made like $1,000 cash in commission. I go to people's homes as well and charge $100 an hour. Also, because of my interest in fitness, I started working part-time as a personal trainer. I wasn't that great in school, have a hard time focusing. And I like the satisfaction of working with my hands and being active throughout the day. Downside is, I don't have health insurance and I don't have a guaranteed salary. Sometimes I have money. Sometimes I'm broke. I was in my 3rd year of college working on a teaching degree. I also used to run track quite a lot. I met an old man who worked as a glass installer at the school I ran at. I started dating his daughter. One day I noticed he was there for my morning run and therefore my evening run. This is the first time we really spoke. I offered to help him out because he was very busy. I knew nothing about glazing. Hated working with my girly hands. Hated being dirty. 1 week later I stopped going to college. He paid my room and board at my house. In exchange he taught me everything he knew about the glass world. 13 years later, after working my way from a know-nothing floor sweeper helper to manager. After working for several shitty companies, I'm now opening my new shop. I make about $15 an hour. I spend about 11-13 hours a day doing work stuff. I have a wonderful fiance and one day will get her the marriage she deserves. I have no regrets. I miss you, Bob. J. Professional poker player. I used to play on Full Tilt Poker. Now living in Vegas, grinding the strip and playing Ultimate Poker. 50k 100k year. Airline pilot. I make around 2k a month. Although passing the JAR CPL exams was almost like getting a degree. Along with studying all the systems of the aircraft I'm flying. Guess the money doesn't look like much from USA standards, but it's pretty decent for where I live. Plus free medical for me, my parents, wife and kids. I'm a supervisor of a CNC machine shop. I make 75k a year salary and usually 10 hours overtime per week at $45 per hour. I just have a high school diploma. I have a nice house. I'm married and my first child will be born any minute now. I'm 21. I write and live off a good, lucky investment I made in my hard-working years. Honestly, I don't regret my decision to skip college. Thankfully, I'm well-read and articulate enough to hold my own with the educated crowd. And I loved working outdoors and creating things with my hands. And you don't have to be a bricklayer or sheet shoveler. There are many decent menial type jobs that pay well enough to live by. And if you're willing to work really hard, learn new things and show character, then you'll gain a solid reputation and move up quick, earning a very, very good living along the way. Plus, you'd be outdoors a lot, which beats office work. I'm a 32-year-old part-time magistrate. I live in a tiny rural town with less than 600 residents. There is no industry around here. I get 20 hours a week at $9 an hour. I have a son to support as well. If I didn't have my wonderful husband, we would be homeless and hungry. He BTW is a police sergeant. He makes about $15 an hour and has 4 kids of his own. In other words, we broke : I'm a paralegal. I did attend university for 2 years, but realized I didn't really want to go into psychology. So why waste my time going into something I don't really want to do? I took a year off to figure out what I wanted to do with my life and stumbled upon a job opening at a law firm. It helps that I speak 3 languages, English, French, Spanish, and I know my way around Microsoft Office. Also, I have a kick-ass boss. Right now, I'm making roughly 45k a year. Full benefits, health, dental, etc. And I can take classes and seminars that are available to paralegals on the company's dime. I love it. Eventually, I do want to take my LSAT and go to law school. But right now, I'm gaining experience in the field. Just a little advice for people that don't know what they want to do with their lives after high school. Take some time to figure it out. Take a year to travel. Or save up some money for college. But really think about your career. Don't waste your money on something you'll regret later. I lease apartments to those in college. Overall, it's a fun job with pretty good pay, no commission. Definitely the first job I have ever had where I don't dread going to work. Oh, how I hate roommate conflict. Oh, she's cooking next to me. You're in a kitchen, sweetie. Cooking might happen. I'm an assistant at a manga publishing house, Japanese comics. And I'm a server at a ramen house. I make 5,000 yen, $15 HR for the first one and 1,000 yen. $11 HR for the second. They are both only part-times though.